Oh, you're here. Please take a seat. Yes, we're gonna look at the 12 signs of the zodiac. I hope you're ready. Could you please shut your mouth? So much better like that. According to my sister, some of you learn better in a relaxing environment. So here you are. Today we're gonna look at the 12 zodiac signs. They can be divided into the 4 elements. So we have the 5 signs, the earth signs, the air signs, and the water signs. But they can also be divided into 3 modes. Can somebody tell me what those modes are? Come on, don't be shy. I'm not gonna eat you. The 3 modes are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Cardinal signs are good at taking initiatives, but they can lack follow through. Fixed signs are good at endurance, but they can be a bit stubborn. And mutable signs are good at adapting, but they can lack commitment. Why are you all looking at me like that? Have you seen a ghost? Relax. You're gonna learn about each mode and element for each sign later. When we look at a birth chart, we usually first look at the Trinity. Can somebody tell me what the Trinity is? Anyone? Yes.
The Trinity is the sun, the moon, and the rising sign.
Correct. Your rising sign, also called your ascendant, talks about the way you approach life. It also talks about the first impression you give to people when you first meet them. It can also reveal it can also talk about, your physical appearance in some cases. So it's more like your outer shell. The sun represents your core identity. It is what energizes you and gives meaning to your life. And the moon talks about your emotions, your needs, and your unconscious patterns. It is a more intimate element, so you might not reveal it to everyone. I often hear people say, I'm a Virgo, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Taurus. Obviously, the sign we will identify with the most is usually the sun sign. So when you say I'm a Virgo, it means that the sun was in Virgo when you were born. I am myself a Gemini, which means that the sun was in Gemini when I was born. However, I cannot identify only with that sign, since my ascendant, moon, Venus, Mars are in different signs. So you need to understand that we are a combination of different signs, not just one. Moreover, you all have a unique way to express your birth chart. Your sun, your moon, it will all be different from one person to another. For instance, I have a twin sister, so obviously we have the same birth chart. But we are two different people, and we all have a unique way to express our sun qualities or moon qualities. Not to mention that we have different past lives, but that's another story. Are you kidding me? A student has fallen asleep. I knew that this relaxing atmosphere was not a good idea. Oh, hello. Have you slept well? Not too many nightmares, I hope. Careful, because I can become one when I get angry. Where was I? Each sign has a bright and a dark side. You need to look at your birth chart like a recipe with different ingredients. You don't want to add too much sugar or too much flour or not enough baking powder, otherwise it won't taste good. So learning and becoming aware of the strengths and the weaknesses of each of your signs can help you add the right amount of ingredients to your recipe. For instance, the bright side of Gemini is the gift of communication, curiosity, wit, adaptability. But in excess, it can become unbalanced and might reveal its dark side, which can lead to empty conversations, gossiping, lack of commitment, a jack of all trades and a master of none. I think my sister represents more the dark side of Gemini than I do. Anyway. So when we talk about the dark side of a sign that you may identify with, such as your sun sign, please don't take it personally. Remember, you are a combination of different signs, so you cannot embody fully the dark side of Gemini or Taurus or Leo. You might not even be able to embody the positive or the bright side of a specific sign. So, I know the student has fallen asleep. Tell me, is my class so boring that everybody falls asleep? Can somebody answer that question for me? No? Why? Are you afraid I'll turn you into food for my ravens? Let me tell you something. When you have your first shadow work class in October with me, I'll make sure to create a non-relaxing and spooky atmosphere so that you'll stay awake. 12 signs of the zodiac. You are going to look at them in more details now. Me and my sister have created 4 lessons according to the 4 elements that we have crystallized in this crystal ball. This beautiful, wonderful crystal ball. So, for those of you who are interested in learning about everything, about all the signs, you can go through the 4 lessons. And for those of you who are lazy and who only want to hear about your sun sign or moon sign, you can skip the chapters you're not interested in and go straight to the ones that you are interested in. They're just down below. And for those of you who are asleep, I can't do anything for you. Just stay asleep. Right. Have you all understood the assignment? Yes. Good. Now, let's join the crystal ball. You'll see three different ways to express emotion. But we have Aries, Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They all need action and passion in life, and they're quite extroverted. You'll see that those 3 signs have 3 different ways to express their fiery nature. First, we have Aries. Aries is the pioneer, the initiate, and the warrior. It is represented by the ram. The goal of Aries is to build courage, assertiveness, and resilience. It is independent and quite impulsive. Aries loves challenges because challenges help it face and overcome fears. It also loves taking risks, and it follows its instincts. Aries also follows its desires without seeking approval from others. And when it makes a decision, it doesn't look back. Aries is a cardinal sign, so it is very good at taking initiatives. And also, it's a natural leader. Its shadow side is selfishness. When Aries is too focused on its own desires, it might fail to take other people's needs into consideration. It might also constantly seek confrontation to prove its individuality. Remember, Aries is a warrior. If he doesn't have a cause to fight for, it will create one. And that might not be always a good one. Then we have Leo. Leo is the king or queen. It is the entertainer and the actor. Leo is represented by the lion. And its goal is a creative expression of the self. It enjoys using art forms like acting or painting or any creative activity to express itself. It is optimistic, playful, loyal, generous, and Leo loves having an audience. It loves giving a performance and it loves receiving praise. Leo knows how to be in the present moment and it knows how to have fun. Leo is a fixed sign, so its fire will burn for a long time. So as a fixed sign, it has much more stamina than the cardinal sign Aries. but he has more difficulty letting go when it's time to move on. Also, those two signs, Aries and Leo, have two different ways to deal with strong emotions like anger. Aries can burst with anger, but it won't last for long. Leo, on the other hand, might have a harder time getting over an argument, especially if you have touched its ego. So its shadow side is pride. When its energy is in excess, well, its confidence can turn into superiority. And it can also ask for too much admiration or approbation or attention. Then we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the nomad, the philosopher, and the teacher. It is represented by the centaur. The goal of Sagittarius is expansion. Sagittarius expands its awareness of the world and its own consciousness through books, travel, philosophy, and even spirituality. It has a very optimistic nature, and it loves learning, but it also loves getting rid of preconceived ideas to create new ones, to reach the truth or to get closer to the truth, although it knows that the absolute truth cannot be reached, only touched by the gathering of many different ideas. So Sagittarius seeks experiences to constantly modify and deepen its vision of life. It values freedom because without freedom, it would not be able to, meet another culture or travel to a new country. And it's a mutable sign. So it is good at moving on to the next phase. It is also very adaptable. And remember, Sagittarius is always ready for a new adventure. Its shadow side is excessive optimism. Sagittarius can be blinded by its own faith, and as a result, it might lack good judgment. It might also follow an endless quest, which might lead, nowhere. That's it for the fire signs. Next, you'll see the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They are really connected to the physical world. So you probably guessed they are really down to There are three earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They are really connected to the physical world and the material world much more than the other signs. So you've probably guessed they are really down to earth and pragmatic. Our first earth sign is Taurus. Taurus is the anchor, is the Epicurean, the artist, and the peacemaker. Taurus is represented by the bull. It knows how to find pleasure in the little things in life, and its intention is to build a stable and a peaceful life. It appreciates silence, nature, but also music, art, food, and beauty. So Taurus is really connected to the physical world, and it needs to experience it through the senses, like touch, for example. It's probably the most grounded sign of the zodiac. Taurus is a fixed sign, so it has a lot of stable energy and a lot of stamina. But its fixed nature can also be its shadow side. So when Taurus is too attached to its security, it can end up rejecting any change and therefore rejecting evolution. It can become a bit stubborn, a bit narrow-minded in its way of thinking, and it can also be stuck in its own routine. So, as you know, Taurus is really connected to the physical world, but it can also be a bit too attached to the material world. Then our next sign is Virgo. Virgo is the analyst, the perfectionist, and the servant. It is represented by the maiden. Its goal is to evolve towards an ideal by becoming useful and skillful. So, Virgo is focused on service. It is meticulous, organized, responsible, and it pays attention to every detail. So it's through service and through being useful that Virgo expresses itself and achieves its ideal for perfection. So Virgo works very well behind the scene, and usually it loves playing the supportive role. So if you are a Leo star, you might want to hire a Virgo as an assistant because they'll do a wonderful job. Virgo is a mutable sign, so it is very good at adapting to any situation, and it's also very good at multitasking. We've seen that mutable sign can lack commitment sometimes. However, this is not the case for Virgo, because Virgo knows how to stick to a task to complete it. It's an earth sign, but Virgo is also connected to the head. So in the worst case scenario, Virgo can be a bit stuck in its head and can worry quite a bit. As a perfectionist, its shadow side is criticism and self-criticism. Virgo can be so focused on its ideal for perfection, and it can also be so focused on every little detail that it can fail to see the big picture. And it's a hard-working sign, so sometimes Virgo can work a bit too much. Then our third sign is Capricorn. Capricorn is the hard worker, is the high achiever, and is the authority. Capricorn is represented by the sea goat. It is very ambitious and very hardworking. So its goal is to marry its identity with its public life. And therefore it can also become or set an example of work and integrity. It is not scared of routines, and Capricorn can also appear a bit cold or distant or even calculating, but that's because he has one goal, which is climbing the ladder. Capricorn doesn't care about praise or approval, which is a good thing because it can focus on what matters the most, which is its work. It can also count on its determination, patience, discipline, and its innate sense of reality. It is a cardinal sign, so it is very good at taking initiatives. But unlike the other cardinal signs, which might, like Aries, which might lack follow through, Capricorn has a lot of stamina, so it knows how to carry on a project till the finish line. And its shadow side is that it can be a bit insensitive to emotions. So it can also repress its own emotions and isolate itself. Capricorn can also be a bit tyrannical in its pursuit of power. It can also be a bit obsessed with work, and as a result may be overwhelmed by having too many responsibilities. So that's it for the earth signs. Now we are going to see the air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. They are the sociable signs. So the air element is connected to the realm of thoughts. Those signs, therefore, need a lot of communication and social interactions. First, we have Gemini. Gemini is the student, the teacher, the messenger, and the writer. It is represented by the twins. The goal of Gemini is to gather information in order to share it with others. It is the eternal student, and it's interested in various topics. Gemini needs to gather as much information as possible and as quickly as possible, so it doesn't go that deep in its learning, unlike Sagittarius. That's because Gemini doesn't have the intention to spend too much time on the same subject. He needs to learn everything about everything, and he needs diversity, otherwise it gets bored. Gemini is a mutable sign, so it's good at adapting, and it tends to change its mind quite often. It is witty, curious, playful, and talkative. The shadow side of Gemini is that it can be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So its big curiosity and its need to go quickly with its learning can lead to superficial learning. It can also have superficial conversations, and in the worst case scenario, it can turn the truth into gossips. Gemini also tend to overthink. Then we have Libra. Libra is the pacifist, the artist, and justice. It is represented by the scales. The goal of Libra is to bring harmony and balance. Libra wants to be fair. It uses diplomacy and the art of communication to maintain a peaceful environment. Libra loves beauty, and it uses beauty to enhance harmony. It also has the ability to see many points of view, and it needs to share its ideas with others. Libra is a very, very cooperative sign. It is also a cardinal sign, so like Aries, it's a natural leader, but unlike Aries, it won't lead in a straightforward way. Libra will use tact and the art of communication to lead smoothly while taking other people's needs and interests into consideration. And Libra also has a shadow side, and that shadow side is indecisiveness. Libra can be so absorbed by so many opinions, ideas, or points of view that he might have a hard time making a decision or taking action because it's so afraid to make the wrong choice. Its opinion can also be influenced by others, and it might, in some cases, choose approval of others over its true authentic self. Then we have Aquarius. Aquarius is the genius. It is the innovator and the rebel. Aquarius is represented by the water bearer. It is very unconventional. The goal of Aquarius is to be a free individual and to make sure that society evolve. It thinks outside the box. It wants to bring change and new ideas to society, so it's therefore very connected to the collective. It is unusual. It has unusual ideas. It has an unconventional mind, and it has a very quick mind. It can be seen as a fool or as a genius, and it will definitely challenge the status quo. It's a fixed sign, so it has a lot of endurance. But as a fixed sign, it can also be a bit too attached to an idea or a concept and might fail to question it at times. So the shadow side of Aquarius is that it can be stubborn in its way of thinking. It can also be a bit cold and emotionally detached, maybe a bit too much. It can also get involved in little battles, in multiple little battles, while forgetting the real cause it fights for. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They are connected to the realm of emotions. They are extremely intuitive and receptive. And the first water sign is Cancer. Cancer is the mother, the child, and the sensitive person. It is represented by the crab. The goal of Cancer is to feel and nurture. Cancer experiences the world through its emotions, and it needs to connect to its inner world while protecting its sensitive nature from the external world. Just like the crab protects itself with its shell. However, Cancer still needs to interact with the world, so it must make sure not to shut down emotionally completely in order to share its sensitivity with others. Cancer is very sensitive, dreamy, and imaginative. It's a cardinal sign, and you may wonder why, because Cancer doesn't look like a leader like Aries. Well, Cancer is always confronted with the world, so it needs to be ready to defend itself. It also wants to protect its people, the people it loves. So Cancer will naturally take the initiative to nurture and protect its people. And while Aries will follow its instincts as a leader, Cancer will follow its intuition. The shadow side of Cancer is that it can be a bit oversensitive. So Cancer can be so sensitive that it might have a hard time getting out in the world. It might stay in its shell, and it might be a bit moody. But Cancer can also nurture people so much that it can exhaust itself. So maybe Cancer can, in some cases, play the role of the mother a bit too much. Then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is the sorceress or the sorcerer, the catalyst, the detective, and the psychologist. It is represented by the scorpion. The goal of Scorpio is to live life intensely while feeling deep emotions. Like Cancer, Scorpio is a very sensitive sign, but its water will be a bit darker. Scorpio likes to venture into the realm of the unconscious mind while exploring what is hidden. Scorpio is interested in breaking taboos, and he wants to bring what is in the dark to light in order to evolve and to transform itself. So Scorpio is a bit like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It is also very intense, passionate, and secretive. Scorpio is a fixed sign, so it has a lot of resilience and endurance, but it can also have a hard time letting go. However, once Scorpio has let go, he has let go for good. So its shadow side is directly connected to its fixed nature. Scorpio can be a bit too attached emotionally and physically to people or things, so it can be a bit possessive, sometimes a bit obsessive. But on the other hand, Scorpio can also be a bit defensive because it has a hard time trusting people, and it can also push people away. Then we have Pisces. Pisces is the mystic, the spiritual teacher, the artist, and the dreamer. It is represented by two fish. The goal of Pisces is to connect to the immaterial world. Pisces knows that there's more than meets the eye. It is connected with the afterlife, and it wants to experience consciousness itself. So it can be interested in meditation, spirituality, but also art, because it's through creativity and imagination that Pisces can enrich its soul. Pisces is compassionate, empathetic, and very creative. It's a mutable sign, so it can shift its energy quite quickly, and it can also mimic or absorb other people's energy. So sometimes it can be a little bit elusive. The shadow side of Pisces is escapism. When life gets a bit too difficult or a bit boring, Pisces can escape into imagination or anything that can be a distraction. So Pisces can lose touch with reality sometimes. It can also be a bit too empathetic or sensitive, which might result in actually not making a difference between its own emotions and other people's emotions. So Pisces has to be careful to set good boundaries. Welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed those descriptions of the 12 signs. This class is not over. We'll see each other in October for our first shadow work class. Oh, and before you go, can you please wake those useless students up? I can't be bothered. Thank you. So, have you enjoyed this class? Have you found some resonance with some of the signs? Please, let me know in the comments what your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign are, and whether you are more into the dark side or the bright side of each sign. I'm looking forward to reading your answers. See you soon.